In this video, I want to talk about the do's and don'ts of getting your issue and pull requests and your contributions accepted to open source projects, because that's the end goal. Otherwise, you're kind of just making noise. Really, you want to make sure you add value and make it as easy as possible for the community maintainers to benefit from those values. So let's get started. Step number one, read the contributing guidelines. I think that's super important. The community and the maintainers and people before you have spent time investing in improving this documentation. So that is the best place to start, even before you begin to contribute to the project, before you raise an issue, before you raise a pull request. It gives you a guide on how you can do that in the best way possible, which is the most efficient for you and also the maintainers and community. It will typically explain how to report bugs, how to request enhancements, as well as templates used on the project. Once you've gone through that file and you still want to raise a bug or raise an issue or raise an enhancement, an idea, whatever it is, check there isn't an issue already open for it. Do search on GitHub issues for one or two words that are related to your issue that you're raising. As a maintainer myself, I've had to often close issues because they're duplicates or very similar to existing issues. I don't want to do that. I feel really bad. I prefer people collaborated on the issue and maybe someone can add more value to the issue. I get it. You've just thought of a great enhancement, a great idea, and you're really keen for the project to have this in there. And you might work on it, you might not, but you're just really keen to have it there because you're excited about your idea, which is great. But before you raise the issue, take some time to see if an existing issue similar to it exists. Don't try to solve everything in one issue. Before you raise the issue, think carefully about what it will contain. If you're familiar with the Link3 project, then you might have seen that I've asked contributors to split their issues into more than one. This has so many benefits. It could be because we want to add value to the users sooner, so let's get the higher part of that issue out even sooner. And that's great. And the other parts might take a bit longer, they might require a bit more research. We want to add value as soon as possible to the project and the user, and not everything has to come at once and come together. For example, you might spot more than one bug on the same web page, and you might be tempted to raise these bugs in the same issue. And that's probably a good place to start, but the likelihood is that the bug affects different components, different areas in the code that actually may not be related, could be carried out in parallel by two different people, therefore we get more people contributing, and plus it's so much easier for the maintainers to review the smaller pull requests. Your issue is more likely to be reviewed faster and accepted and ready for you to work on it if you want, if it is focused, the more focused it is. It's easier to break down items at this stage rather at the pull request stage as well. So remember, the sooner you can get feedback on your idea, on your thoughts, let's get into the nitty gritty. Let's get into the title of the issue. When you create a new issue, if there are templates in the repo, you'll be presented with a list of templates to choose from when you're creating a new issue. In the Link3 project, we have templates for bugs, features, for example, and a few others. And I'm sure we're tweaking them and changing them all the time. But by choosing the right template, this means the title of the issue will start with the correct definition, like bug, and it will also add the correct labels. And if you're contributing to an open source project that does not have these templates, then it's important to start off your title with the type of issues that you're going to create. Also look at conventional commits. That really helps. Their standards are focused on commits, but also could be used for issue and pull request titles as well. But this will really help maintainers understand immediately what the issue is about. Some other tips for a good title: it should be short and concise. Keep it to one line on GitHub, right? If it goes on to 2 lines on GitHub, I think it's too long. And pay attention to the language and tone, but we'll talk more about that later in this video. Let's get into the description, because this is where you can add more to your title, because there isn't a lot of space in the title. You can add more. As I mentioned before, if there's a template, then the description will be pre-populated in the issue. And like we have in the Link3 project, it's a great place to start because it keeps it consistent, because these sections are what the maintainers are looking for to get your issue out of kind of pending triage into ready for development. And don't forget, issues descriptions, just like pull request descriptions, allow markdown. A wall of text is really hard for you to write and difficult for others to understand and read. Use markdown to emphasize certain areas, break it up into bullet points, context. Remember, it's really important to give context because what might make sense to you at that moment in time might not make sense to somebody else who wasn't involved in that conversation or hasn't kind of got the same point of view that you've got on. And different points of views are great, but context must be given. Where possible, add a screenshot identifying the bug or the fix or the enhancement, but then try and annotate it, try and give an arrow or circle it or something like that. There are great free tools that you can use to do that. I want to talk about adding value because this can be quite vague. So one thing I'd like to talk about is, does it add value to the project? Or are you doing this just to get a green square? You know me, I'm always keen for you to get a green square. I like to give them away on live streams and Twitter Spaces all the time. But each green square I give away adds value. I'm not saying that fixing typos doesn't add value. It does, and it is valid. But these fixes should be necessary rather than changing something for the sake of changing it. So when writing a description, just like the title, to your issue, it's important for you to think about the language and the tone that you use. This often gets overlooked. Don't start the issue with, "This looks ugly, this is wrong. Who would do it this way?" Like, don't use those terminologies because straight away the community maintainers are thinking, oh, they're kind of attacking my project. And it can be, people can take it personally. You might think I'm joking here, but these are actual comments that I've read in the link-free issues. Using this type of wording does not help with collaboration, does not make your suggestion better by putting someone else's down. Do you think your future colleagues and employers would want to hire someone who comments in this way? Remember, we're all learning together, we're all collaborating together. Use words which can easily be understood. Maybe dealing with a project which has contributions from all over the world and English may not be their first language. Use friendly language such as, "I have a suggestion. What do you think about my idea?" Let's get into a bonus tip. You found the bug or you have thought about a feature that would enhance the project and you've raised this as an issue. Now you might really want this to be assigned to you so that you can work on it. Here are my tips to making this happen. Go back to the contributing guide. What does it say about having issues assigned? For example, in Link-Free Project, we have specific labels for the issue. When one is ready to be worked on, it will have the label status ready for dev. If you start working on an issue before it's been accepted by the maintainers, you really run the risk of having the work being thrown away if the issue isn't accepted. And working on it before the maintainers that decides that the issue adds values will not guarantee that you'll get it assigned to you either. And this creates a lot of noise and a lot of confusion and distraction within the community and maintainers, so please don't do this. But ask to be assigned the issue you've just created. If you want to work on it and you feel you have the ability and you know a way of solving it, avoid tagging specific maintainers. All maintainers receive notifications and are able to assign issues to other people. But tagging a specific maintainer puts more pressure on them. And remember, maintainers are doing this voluntarily. And we're all in different time zones and we've all got different responsibilities. So I would recommend only asking to be assigned the issue if you have a good idea of how to work on the issue. Whilst there is no shame in asking for help, that's how we all learn. But if you are assigned an issue and then comment, okay, what do I do? This doesn't bring a lot of value to the project and you're preventing someone else working on it. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope this really helps you contribute and get involved into open source. There's nothing more scary than trying to raise an issue and someone saying this is a duplicate and then they just close it and you kind of get a bit disheartened. So I don't want this to happen to you and I don't want you to raise a pull request and it gets closed because the issue isn't accepted. I really want your efforts to add value to the project and also add value to you so you can build up your confidence. I look forward to geeking out with you in Eddie Hub Discord. We geek out every day, so come and chat with us there. Link in description below. And while you're down there, give this video a thumbs up. I really hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you in Eddie Hub Discord.